about today. I'm going to speak to you about what are the key considerations for an entrepreneur. What should I consider first if I want to be an entrepreneur, or I want to open a business, or I want to go into the business field? Then we're going to speak about the idea. And today I'm mainly going to try to push you to think about certain topics or certain points. With or without a background on it, you should be able to contribute. So let's have this as engaging as possible. We'll talk about market research. We'll talk about business plan and feasibility studies. We'll talk a little bit about startup funding, but if you join the session that I'm going to run again, inshallah, in March, then we're going to deep dive into funding and sources of funding. I'll talk about business structure, I'll talk about requirements, and I'll talk about branding and marketing. And do you see the three pictures on the screen? Do you recognize any of them? Intentionally, I picked very old pictures, but do you recognize any of those faces? The three people here are people you would recognize. Jeff Bezos is sitting on the top left side of the screen, the guy who started Amazon, the guy who's now owning one of the largest companies or businesses that are owned in the world. The guy on the bottom side of the screen is Richard Branson, or Sir Richard Branson, the owner of the Virgin conglomerate. And the top two, the couple on the top, are actually having the most interesting story. Do you know Forever 21? The retail store that sells clothes. Has anybody heard about it? مجمع السيف الطابق الأرضي. Excellent. So these guys are the ones behind, thank you. They are the ones behind Forever 21. Now, why did I start with these three pictures? Because in fact, nothing about their beginning was big. Nothing about their beginning was super powerful, and nothing about their beginning was exotic, which a lot of entrepreneurs think needs to be the start. So if you look at Mr. Wong over here and his wife, the owners of Forever 21 today, he was a janitor, like he was a cleaner. And then he was also working in a coffee shop. And then they got the idea to start a business like that. They opened a very small store first to test their idea. Jeff Bezos started from his warehouse, or from a small office. Now, what does all this deliver? I'm here to decipher a couple of myths that are revolving in the world that says, if you have a business, you need to come to the market, you need to be big, you need to be strong. But I'm not with that story, because that story needs a very huge investment. It needs a very huge commitment. And at the end of the time, what you really actually need is to identify a market need, and then to enter with the market need and to build on that market need. And if all these three people are just top examples that I used, but these top three people are not the only ones. There are other people who have managed to execute on the same strategy, which is start small and build from there. So if I want to start small, Noorhan, and then I want to build from there, what do I need to do? This is why I'm here today. But before I go into what we need to do into the guide of starting your business, I wanted to share with you some statistics. Now, the statistics here, which is very important for me if I want to launch a business, I need to see the first thing, which is what I did. I want to understand why businesses fail. Because some of the statistics say that 90% of startups fail. Some statistics say 80% of startups fail. And it depends on the region where you're at. So the slide in front of you here is a global outlook. It's not a regional outlook. On the global outlook, if you take a look about why they fail, you will notice that the biggest part of it, why businesses fail, is because of the product market fit, which basically means that product does not fit this market. And about 35% of businesses fail because of that reason. We're going to see a decent percentage failing because of marketing, and a decent percentage failing because of the team or because of finance. Which brings us back to the point, when I am starting a business, a lot of people tell me, you have to focus on the operations. The operations has to be right, from the sale to the get-go to the delivery. Yes, I understand, this is correct. But the starting point from me is, does this product fit this market? Do I have a product that aligns with this market? Do I have a marketing strategy that will allow me to sell or to market this product? Because at the end of the day, if I have a wonderful product, a super product, but it doesn't sell in the GCC market, then I'm going to be addressing the wrong market, and I'm going to be marketing to the wrong market, and my startup will fail. And startups fail not because they have bad ideas. Startups fail because the market and the product don't fit. Now, this is on a global perspective. But what if I take a look at a regional perspective and I zoom in into the Middle East, North African region? And if I take a look, you will notice that the focus is a little bit different. But still, the largest contributor for failures of startups in the Middle East, North African region is because of there's no market need. You are coming in with a product that the market doesn't need. So even if you come and you create a product which you think is genius, the first thing you need to do is there a market for this product? Do I have competitors for this product? And can I compete with this product? Now, if I agree that I have a good product, I need a very strong team, or I, as the lead entrepreneur, has to be very strong in that line so I can boost that business. Or if I'm not strong personally, I have to team up with people who are strong to help elevate my idea. I'm not here to tell you that businesses are meant to fail. I have a business and alhamdulillah, it's working. But what I'm trying to say is before I start thinking to start a business, if I need to understand the market where I'm operating, I need to understand the market that in which I'm interested in, and I need to do my research. Now, with that background in mind, فعليا, genuinely, businesses start with an idea, period. Now, do I need to have a cutting edge technology, unbelievable, nobody in the universe created it? No. Because if I will be genuinely honest with you, if you're going to spend the rest of your life creating something that has never been created, you're going to be 1 in a billion people who gets that idea. Because there are so many people coming up with ideas every day. So the idea doesn't have to be exotic, but the idea has to be something that works. So I need to identify an idea. It doesn't have to be super big. It just has to be special, or there has to have a market need for that product. Now, the question that I get a lot when I run these sessions, Noorhan, I'm not getting any ideas. I want to start a business. I'm passionate about this line of work, but I'm not getting any ideas. I'll tell you, Google is your friend. There are websites when you type top 30, top 50, top 100 business ideas, the best business ideas that suit the Middle East, North Africa. I'm not telling you go there and pick up your idea from there. I'm telling you go there and get inspired. Go there and see what is happening in the market. Go there and see what ideas are being presented. And don't imagine that the business owners who open their businesses are not doing that. They are not investigating. Akid they are. They are searching for an idea, and then they're seeing maybe this idea is not present in my market, or maybe if I take this idea and I make hatta a small adjustment to it, I am presenting something to the market that the market doesn't have. And now I'm an entrepreneur, because I know some of you are studying entrepreneurship. Everybody in the world believes that the definition of entrepreneurship is that you have a business. So I'm an entrepreneur because I have a business. But the truth is, you are an entrepreneur if you have a creative mindset, if you are able to create opportunities and ideas and to be able to develop them, you're an entrepreneur. And that is the mindset that starts businesses. It's not people who start businesses, it's their mindset that does. So the first part in the guide to starting your business is find the idea. And if you don't have it, do your research. If you find something interesting, see how you can add an edge to it, or how you can adjust it and customize it to the market where you want to launch it at. Now, I mentor a lot of entrepreneurs in Bahrain. You sit with him and he has a wonderful idea. You sit with her and she really has passion for this idea. You ask them about the market, the size of the market, the competitors in the market. How do you address those competitions? What do you do? Nothing. They had the idea, they rushed into it, They launched it. But the thing that makes you a strong entrepreneur is you understand where you're taking your business. When you do your market research, you are now able to give your business a solid chance to survive, because starting a business is not easy, but sustaining a business comes when you understand this market. So I need to understand the size of the Bahraini market, the spending of the Bahraini market, the competition for the business that I'm about to launch, the interest, the demand. Do I have that? What kind of clients will I target? Am I targeting the retail clients? So do I access them through Instagram? Or am I going to go for corporate? So I need to do a roadshow. All of these strategies can only come to life if you understand the market in the first place. And the market research is something for me as a deal breaker to define if you have a real valid business idea or not. So your first step is find your idea and then start researching it. And what happens when you research it? When you research it, you are able to refine that idea. You're able to clean it up. You are able to tidy it up. And most importantly, you are able to know when to launch, how to launch, and then how to secure a place in the market. I have an idea. I've done my market research. I'm in a fairly good position. I know who I want to work with, or I want to work alone, or I have a couple of ideas for business owners that can work with me. But now we need to sit down and we need to set up a business plan. Now, business plans are one of the things that really intimidate entrepreneurs. I've never done a business plan. I'm not a business student. I'm not a finance student. Don't worry. The business plan is all about brainstorming. So we sit together, we download from Google or we download from anywhere a sample of a couple of business plans. We see the main headlines of them. One of them is marketing, one of them is competitor understanding, one of them is operations, one of them is financials, one of them is a product description, one of them is the team. I understand all of those elements, best the headlines. And then I sit with myself, or I sit with the people that I will work with, and I say, okay, let's talk about how this operations will work. Let's, before that, talk about the vision. What do we want to achieve in this company? Where do we want to take this company? Do we want to go in the GCC? Do we want to focus in Bahrain? No, maybe we want to grow later. And then, are we going to start operations, a small operations? We're going to start it from home, or do we need to rent the place? Do we have the technical know-how, or we need to get people to help us on the operations side? Okay, what are we trying to achieve? Let's brainstorm, let's draw, let's think. Don't think about writing, think about thinking. Think about brainstorming, think about building, thinking your business through, envisioning it. And please don't limit your thoughts into thinking, inshallah, إذا وصلنا, maybe we reach, maybe we don't. No, go big, go all in into your idea. Think about the details, think about the type of client, think about how much you're going to charge them. Think about the whole process from your perspective, and then agree with it on the team. And when you have a nice image, then you start documenting a business plan. The business plan should be a nice business plan that takes us 3 to 5 years in advance, and that allows us to really think through the process of what we want to do. Now, all of these things, if you don't have the expertise, there are tools and resources available for free on the internet. Your university should be able to provide you with tools. If you don't have any, there's an excellent ecosystem of entrepreneurs in Bahrain. Go and find them on LinkedIn. Go and get in touch and say, I don't know how to do this. How can I do this? How did you do your marketing plan? Now, not all of them are going to be super helpful, but there will be people, because I'm part of this ecosystem, and I know there will be people that say, come to my office, sit down with me, let me show you how it's done. If not, Temkeen will support. Someone will support. Get the expertise. This is why they bring us to you, because the point is there's someone who knows it. There's someone who's done it. Use that. But you need a solid business plan, because you have an idea. You've done your market research. You've now really started to narrow down your thoughts. You're already in a very good place. You're already in a very good place. But let's say you want to go for funding for Temkeen. You want to do any of that. Don't do that, please, unless you have a business plan. Don't go to them and ask for money. Don't think about funding and rental unless you've really thought this through first internally as a team. Now, when you sit, you'll think, I know my strengths and weaknesses. I know my marketing. Easy. I just have to write it down. No, but please give yourself the chance to think through the process, to refine it, to brainstorm it. Because even personally for me, my business plan took me weeks. I thought I knew it. I thought it's just a write down. But no, when I went into pricing, my pricing didn't work. I had to readjust my pricing. When I went into my marketing was too expensive. It had to be adjusted. My business plan was, who is my target clients? But then when I did that, and when I secured it, and then you go for Temkeen for funding, you're sitting down and you're like, yeah, I have a pitch. My pitch represents my business plan. I know my business plan inside and out, and I can explain it. Now, the hardest part that I usually see from the people that I work with or the young entrepreneurs like yourself is the financials. The financials are usually hard for them to develop, which again, there are videos on YouTube. There are samples that are presented through Microsoft Excel, which is plug and play. And there is available market expertise, and there's available training free provided by universities in Bahrain if you don't know how to do financials. Go and do it. Go and learn how to do it. Or seek help so you can do it. So now we've established the idea and we've established the marketing or the market research, the business plan. Now we go into the next step. The hardest part for an entrepreneur is the launch because it's expensive. And the risk that comes with the launch because I don't know if my business is going to be successful. Honestly, we don't know. I would hope for it to be, but I don't know. So I have savings in the bank. If I put all my savings in the startup and my startup doesn't work, then I've lost my savings and I've lost my startup. And I probably, if I had the job, I lost my job. So then comes the element of, do I have financing and funding alternatives in Bahrain? The answer to that is yes. But I will tell you that there is a very high awareness when it comes to startups. So they want to ask you questions and they want to know that you know how to answer them. But let's say I have a solid business plan and I know my business plan properly, and now I can go. I can go to Temkeen. As a start, Temkeen is a grant. So Temkeen can secure up to 50%. They can cover your marketing, they can cover machinery, they can cover IT, they can cover branding. So all the big, heavy startup costs, Temkeen can take up to 50% off of you. I want to hire, Temkeen can take off up to 70% of hiring if I'm hiring Bahrainis. I want more and it's not on the Temkeen's approved list. I go to Temkeen and I ask and I say, can you support me? Because Temkeen is honestly very flexible. I exhausted all of these, or maybe I'm not on that level. I want to start a little bit smaller. Temkeen launches مشروعي, NBB launches انطلاق. أكثر من organization in Bahrain launches competition. Injaz launches a competition for entrepreneurs. I'm young, I have an idea, but I need mentorship, I need support. Go to one of the competitions first. Then you'll be able to secure funding through them, but you will also be able to learn through the process. I reach to the point when I secured Temkeen funding, or I want more than Temkeen subsidies, no problem. In Bahrain, we have VC funding. We have angel investors. We can go to the angel investor community. We can attend the sessions. We can see what's available in options. We can communicate with the VC network. We can get to know what's on the table for me in funding. Because I think in terms of strategy, if you want to start with the projects or with the competitions, excellent opportunity to learn, to grow, to pitch, to see, to have mentorship. Fine, Noorhan, خلاص, I passed that. Go to Temkeen, find out what's available. The coverage there is amazing. I have my startup funding from Temkeen. الحين I'm ready for my business to grow. Temkeen has another layer, which is grow your business. I go and grow my business through subsidies. I don't want subsidies. I want an investor to go in. I want big investments. I have Biban, or I have the VC funding or the angel network. And Biban is based on the element of crowdfunding. So I can have a lot of people to come and crowdfund me. So funding, financing, alhamdulillah, in Bahrain for entrepreneurs is not an element. I just need to identify what sort of funding is appropriate for me. And contrary to what, I don't know, the other entrepreneurs might tell you, but I will tell you what I know for a fact. Businesses that start with heavy costing, unless you are super wealthy, they break. Because I cannot start with a new idea in a new market and launch, and I put myself additionally an additional load of cost and expense and funding, too much. Let me try to see someone who can support my funding. Let me see if I can get subsidies so I can give myself a breather, so I don't put too much pressure on the business. Now, people go in and they say, go big or go home, launch a big business. I am not from that school. Start small. If Jeff Bezos started small, if Richard Branson started small, if the one family started small, and now they reached there, that means something about starting small is right. To me, history means track record. Track record I can depend on. Do I go big or go home? Noorhan is from the school of not. Can I start with 2 team members? Start with 2 team members. Can you start alone? You can start alone. I started alone. Then you grow. When you see a business potential, when you see a market response, when you make a little bit of money, now I have a business where I can hire. Now I have a business where I can grow the team, but not from the beginning, not from the get-go. No, I'm not from that school. Unless you have a cutting edge business idea, which is not available in Bahrain, which needs a lot of heavy infrastructure to launch, then أقول لك yes. But every other business in Bahrain that launches with 500 employees, ولا 5 employees, ولا ما أدري a big venue and a super large office and marketing that costs them 10,000 BD, I'm telling them the size of the market, it doesn't handle this much of an expense. And what about if I have 2 business ideas? One should be started on a big scale and the other can be started on as small as possible. So you recommend me to start with the small one first. Nice question, lovely question. Already, Omar, I'm so proud of you, mashallah, that you have 2 business ideas. Now, my question, or rather my recommendation will be, if I were you, because you're one Omar and you have 2 ideas. If I were you, I will sit and I will do my market research on the 2 ideas. And I will see which one is the one that is more likely to succeed in the market that I want to launch, which is the one that will probably work because it works, which is the one that has a higher business need, which is the one that I can secure a client base for, which is the one that is more likely to work. Short, long story short. And if I personally don't have a particular, I'm not leaning towards one than the other, then I go for the one that is more likely to work. Because when you have a successful business, then you launch the other one, it will be much easier for you. Big or small, doesn't matter for me. Works or doesn't work, matters all the world. You can start small, very small, with a good business, and you hit, you're out. You make excellent money. Or you can start with the business is so big, and then you launch and then nobody wants it. So my recommendation would be, Omar, do your research, follow the market. Entrepreneurs think they have to follow their business. The real thing is to follow the market, are under the control of the market. You are responding to the client. Give the client what he needs, secure the client, and then Omar, become a serial entrepreneur. Who's going to stop you? 5, 6, 7, 800 businesses. Launch one, make it work, satisfy the market. Get that? Then join a team and build from there and go further into another business. That would be my recommendation. زين أستاذ عادل أتوقع I think you can unmute now. Can you try?
Hello.
My pleasure. Yes, we can hear you. مساء الخير. Happy Thursday.
Alhamdulillah khair. I have a question. If I would like to check if there is a patent for a certain product, how can I do that?
Okay, so we have an authority for Bahrain for patents. I don't remember the exact name. It's a copyright something, and they have a hotline. So just Google it, the name of the patent organization in Bahrain, and you can call them and you can check because they would have all the records.
Okay, is there any website online that I can check for patents in Bahrain?
I can check, no, I mean, in Bahrain to Google if the patent is patent or not. I don't think you will have access to that.
If the product is patented or any kind of, like if I have a product idea and I want to check if it's patented before or not.
Yes, so you would need to check with the organization. I'm gonna try to pull it out for you now before I end the session to tell you the name of the organization, but you're gonna need to check with them.
Okay.
And
If I also
they're gonna
may here, Noorhan, thank you, Adil, for the question. You can also check with the Ministry of Commerce. There is part of the ministry, this is something that they do. So if you submit your application, they will do the checking for you, and there is an entity responsible for that. If you check the ministry's website, you will be able to locate them. Now, if you are a student at the university and you have, let's say, you're considering to patent something that you have created, we also have technology transfer office at the university. They are very helpful and they can support you in terms of even giving you all the requirements before going towards ministry as well. I will send you on the email of the person at the university. You can get in touch with them as well.
That would be
Thank you.
great. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your question, Adil, for your contribution. And Dr. Isra, thank you for your contribution. That's very helpful. Adil, the element that the Dr. Isra said about the university is very helpful because the patent process is extremely cumbersome. It's heavy. It's a heavy process, yeah? So if you can get support that someone can help you go through the requirements, because the requirements are quite hefty and there are fees involved in it. So I would imagine if you get support from the university, that would be perfect.
All right, we'll go with that one. Thank you.
Now, Malak says, every now and then I'm getting a very good business idea, but I struggle with building a structure and planning everything I need to start a business. What will help me in taking the very first step with a plan and a structure? Subhanallah, you said plan and structure, and the slide is plan and structure. So hopefully I'll be able to integrate the answer into the slide. Now, Malak, if you think that you are the only person in Bahrain that is getting good ideas and not executing on them, then you are not aware of the ecosystem in Bahrain. This is a general trend. People get ideas and then they go and they want to go into the deep end and to start it, but they get intimidated by the requirements. They don't know where they start. They don't know what to do. Although the process, alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, for launching a company in Bahrain is so easy. It is so straightforward. It is all from your computer, and I can put my money on that. So if I don't know how to build the structure, I learn. But what is stopping me from setting up the structure can be something internal. So I would recommend if you take a look about how do you feel about this business? Do you feel strongly about it? Is something intimidating you from pursuing it more? Because that will be step number one. If I'm getting multiple ideas and I'm not executing them, then I need to find out what's making me not execute, me as a person. Because I was like you. I had business ideas over most of my career, and I launched the business in my 30s. But now I was like, confident, yalla, tell me what I need to do next. And what I was finding out and what I'm here sharing with you today, I learned step by step. I didn't go in knowing that Wizara or the Ministry of Industry and Commerce, after this step, will ask me this. Wallahi, I was going step by step. And what they asked me, I was executing. However, when I do my business plan, which was 2 steps behind Malak, there I was identifying the size of the market, my customer base, my target market, what are my launch expenses, I've already thought of that. So now I come to think about, okay, do I need team? Do I don't need team? Yeah, I want a team. Inzin, do I need a big team, or can I start me and my sister or me and my friend? Maybe I can start me and my friend في البداية at the start. Okay, me and my friend at the start. Do we have any of our money to put in? Yeah, we have about 500 BD, 600 BD. But the rest is to come from subsidies. Okay, fine. We have a little bit of money. We have capital. Deal, deal. Now we move on to structure. The Ministry of Industry and Commerce. I go online. Business structures in Bahrain. There is a document, which is the corporate law for Bahrain. It has every business structure that is available in Bahrain, what it means to you, how will it affect you. It's all there in a one document. Now I have a single establishment, which is me owning the business. Me and the business are one people. Here I don't have to submit financial reports to the government. Here I don't have to give them too much documentation. This is just a very small business. And before that, I have the e-business, which is the ECR, the virtual CR. And then I have this small business, which, by the way, later on I can grow it. Later on it can become a bigger structure. Later on it can be a WLL, with limited liability. Later on it can become a partnership. Later on I can go and become an IPO. I can become I can raise funding in Series A, Series B. So essentially, I can start with the basic structure if that suits my business idea, which is me, single person, single owner of the company, and then I go from there. Or I can go read that document من الوزارة and understand the structures that suit me. But I wouldn't think for a small business you would have either the virtual CR أو individual establishment أو WLL, unless you want to open a partnership. But anything above that or bigger than that, it's going to be for bigger companies. So anyway, your selection is rather, it's not a big choice, which is good because it makes it easier. Now, when I do that, that's the first step. I log on to Sigillat, or I log on to Sigillati, and I start doing it. It's a piece of cake, mashallah tabarak rahman, step by step. Everything is explainable. Everything is easy to understand. I didn't know, I go on LinkedIn and I search for an entrepreneur. I didn't know, I called the SME department in Wazarat Tijara wa Sana'a. They're answering the phone every day from 8 to 2. They are so nice. They are so friendly. I faced an issue. I asked them, I don't know. There's an entire, and I said this before and I will keep saying it, there's an entire ecosystem in Bahrain available to support you should you have a good business idea. Now, when I know what type of business I want, what type of structure I want, I then have to think, about what is the brand? What is the marketing? Am I personally going to go in and try to build a brand that is high value? Or am I going to try to focus on the message? Or am I branding to be able to see an approachable business that anybody can access? I start thinking about the identity of my business. And I'm a banker. By profession, I'm a banker. So when I wanted to launch my company, I talked to a lot of entrepreneurs, and one of them said to me, branding is so important. I told him, no, financials are more important. He said, no, branding. But I trusted him. It took me so long to be able to identify, this is what I want my brand to look and feel like. I wanted it to look Arabic. I wanted it to be cultural. I wanted it to represent that I care about my client. I wanted it to deliver value. So I wanted the colors to be right, the themes to be right, the website to look right. Spend time, invest time into branding. Temkeen covers funding for branding. So it covers for you logo, design, all of that. And branding is an identity. It's an asset. It will stay with me forever, or when I want to change my logo. Marketing is da'aya, marketing is advertising, social media, videos, videography, all that thing. But also Temkeen covers it under the subsidies. But first, establish what I want the brand to look and feel like. You don't know how to do it? Don't worry. Go to the drawing board. Sit and imagine. Sit and visualize. Sit and imagine that you're a client for this company. What do you want to feel? Do you want to feel welcome? Do you want to feel open? Do you want to feel energetic? Do you want to feel young? What do you want to feel? And make sure you translate that through the logo. Top right on the screen is the logo of my company. This logo took me 2.5 months. And I had hired a logo designer inside Bahrain, because I was taking the marketing seriously. I wanted the logo to be Arabic, so I wanted Arabic calligraphy. I wanted the Khatt al-Arabi. I wanted the light bulb عشان it shows you كلمة نور. I wanted to show you that from this something is lighting. What is lighting? You will have to come and find out when you look at my website. But there is an idea, there is a culture, there's a thought process. Ism Noor has multiple visions. It meant something to my vision and my mission. Then when I saw this logo, I was like, that's it. This is the logo that I want. Can I change it in a couple of years? Yes. Did Temkeen help me in funding it? Yes. Does it feel and look and right to me? Yes. So this was when it got signed off. Marketing always follows branding. I have to have a value proposition for my client, and then I market to them, not the opposite. Now, Bahrain's supportive ecosystem that I've been talking about for about 40 minutes. Temkeen, we've spoken about sufficiently. Ministry of Industry and Commerce, They are unbelievably supportive, whether it's tech support, whether I don't know the business structure, whether what is the difference between this and that, whether I want to change this, whether I'm doing something on Sijillat and I don't know how to do it. They answer on the hotline and they're very supportive. Do I have more? Do I want more publicity? I have Hope Fund. I can sign up for Biban. I can go to Injaz. I can go to NBB's program for mentorship of entrepreneurs. I can do so much. Now I know I want rent. Don't worry, rent is a big expense. We have multiple incubators in Bahrain, which the Ministry of Industry and Commerce allows you as a business owner to sign up your business there. And for a minimal amount every month, you get a rent, you get a space, you get an office, you get meeting rooms, and you get an entire ecosystem of entrepreneurs surrounding you who equivalently offer services that can support you, or they can mentor you and support you, or give you access to investors as well. You don't know about the ecosystem? Ask. You want to know more? Google these organizations. But generally, from my experience, go to an entrepreneur, a local entrepreneur, whatever you want. They will answer your questions and they will support you. Or go to your university. Now, if I want to sum this up, if I want to do something with a business, have a business idea, then I'm going to develop a business plan. But before that, I'm going to do marketing, proper marketing. I'll try to get an idea where am I going to get my initial financing and funding from. I'm going to understand the structure of the business. After I do all of that, how many employees do I need? 100? No. Any business in Bahrain that says they want 100 employees? No. Unless you're going to be competing with NASA, you don't. Set up a business location. Look at the incubators that are available. See the incubators that are able to support you with space, with meeting rooms, whatever that supports your business type. Then you need to get on social media. What social media works for your business? Is it Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, whatever it may be? Find it. Then start. But you know what? It's all about the small, simple steps. Believe me, don't overwhelm yourself about, I want to be Amazon. Start now, start small, and grow. Every day I'm still learning. There are things that I personally do not know. I know how to launch a business. I know how to make a business make money, but how to make it mega big, I'm going to learn that. And I'm going to come back to you and tell you how I've done it. But it doesn't mean you need to know everything now. You need to know someone who knows it so you can ask them, but you need to start. And if I was here today for a reason, is if you have it, start, and someone will support you. I always say, think big, dream big, become big, but always start small. Always. Imagine that you're this goldfish. The goldfish is never going to make it to the big tank unless it jumps out of the water. Jumping out of the water is not a big activity, but making it through the process is a series of small, consistent, well-studied steps.